Tonight we got a great show for you. We're going to talk to Matt Garcia about the birds and the bees and the fines and the fees. Welcome to PUC-CAST. Tonight we have Matt Garcia with us, who is the Director and Chief of Public Safety here at PUC. Now, Matt, if I may call you Matt.
Absolutely.
As I mentioned, the fines and the fees, you laughed after the intro about that. And I have to say, the common perception among students and maybe some faculty, if I'm not overstepping my bounds, about public safety here at PUC is that public safety is a little more than a horde of ticket mongers, a band of ticket Nazis, if you will.
Ticket Nazis is the term that I've heard from time to time, yes.
How do you feel about that?
Well, I do find it a little bit humorous because although parking enforcement is one aspect that is part of our job description, however, it's not the main focus of what our job is all about. Our name implies what our prime directive is, and that is public safety. We are here for the safety of the campus, albeit we do parking enforcement and we deal with the vehicle registrations in that whole arena. But when it really comes right down to it, safety is what we need to be focusing on the most. It just seems that parking tends to be the topic of bigger interest. So I am actually grateful anytime that I can redirect the focus back to what we should be, and it is on safety.
All right, well, let me redirect it back to fine just for a brief few moments.
Go right ahead.
In that there has been a noticeable change in the public safety charges and fines, especially for the parking permit stickers. Why is that?
Well, basically what happens is every year the college reevaluates its fee structure and incorporate such things as inflation and the cost of living and that sort of thing into deciding what should be the appropriate fee structure for the entire institution. Now, within the realm that I have governance over, I try to really keep the fees as low as possible. And actually, when regards to the parking stickers, those fees hadn't gone up in several years. And so what we're seeing is a slight increase. It went up basically $5 since the previous year. But prior to that, the fees had held constant for several years. So we really try not to make fees go up higher than what is reasonable, and we definitely try to prolong it as much as possible.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but last year it seemed that if you got a ticket, and this is just, not that I'm saying I've gotten tickets, but if you've, say, an individual has gotten tickets, say, parking in front of financial services for longer than an hour, they've gotten a ticket, and if they don't pay it after, or if they pay it within 10 days, I understand you would get $10 off or something? That sounds like a bargain kind of deal thing, but now I understand it's down to 3 days. If you pay it within the 3 days, counting the day of issuance, the day that you got it.
Let me clarify that. You have several of the pieces. Let me put the puzzle in the correct order for you.
Please do.
The college, at the directive of the student initiative, basically, about three to 4 years ago, the students asked if we were able to pay for a parking citation quickly, could we entertain the idea of having a reduced fee on it? And so in discussions with administration on the issue, it was decided to give that pilot program a try. It went well for the first year, and we've continued it since. Since its inception, it has always been 3 days. It hasn't been 10 days. It has always been 3 days since the start of the program. And it does not include this day of the citation. And it only includes business days. So if a person got a citation on Monday, they could have all day Monday, and then we start counting the clock on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday for them to be able to capitalize upon that discount. If they got it on Friday, the weekend would be excluded, and so the clock would start counting on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday.
Would you be willing to consider 10 days, possibly?
That would actually be something that I would have to go to administration to relook at. because the initial program and the time frames and the discounting amount, that was all decided in conjunction with administrative staff.
Really? Because I was just joking. That'd be great, actually. Anyway, let's move along. Let's get away from tickets. And something that many students have wondered about, and that is why, is it true that there's no patrolling on Saturdays?
Well, the college has historically, for years, have gone with some minimal staffing in regards to Saturdays during the actual daytime hours. So many students leave the campus populace really reduces down. And so it has been very historic, even prior to me coming onto this post 7 years ago, that for daytime coverage, there was no officer on. And it is something that we've continued to work with administration on the level of service that they want us to provide, and that is still the case.
So wait, so it's under the assumption that there are more students away from campus than there are on?
You know, I made that statement, but I'm not sure what the actual decision-making process was, simply from the fact that it was decided prior to my arrival. I've kind of extrapolated that there is a lot less activity on the campus on that day, and that probably is what came into that decision-making process. But that is kind of speculation.
Well, just because I've noticed that there seems to be, at least within the past few years since I've been here, that there seems to be more activities on the weekends to encourage students staying around.
And that is very true. Over the last few years, I completely agree. There's been a very concerted effort to provide good programming for the students over the weekend, and therefore not leave the students with nothing to do over the weekend.
Okay.
And it may be time that the issue is readdressed with administration to find out what staffing levels they want us to accomplish. I basically am given certain directives from administration, and that's what I work with, and as needs change, we change it.
I guess the question is it a budget issue, or is it a I don't want to say ethics, but is it because of the budget, or is it because of just the belief system that the school has?
I would probably think it's a combination of those. Obviously, as we all know from the financial challenges we've been facing over the last few years, many things on this campus are very much budget driven. And in order to make sure of the viability of our institution, we have to do things very cost conscious. And coupled with that, we do have a very safe campus. I am very pleased with that. We are in the process of completing our annual crime statistics. And again, our numbers come in very, very low compared to other campuses. So with that, there is this feeling of having a safe campus and maybe being able to provide certain levels of service is what's appropriate.
Now, you've talked about checking these things. What are the new security measures being taken this year at PUC?
Quite a few, actually. A lot of what we do is behind the scenes.
Okay.
And that's, I think, why parking gets a lot of emphasis, is because that's very visual. That's out there with the student body.